Last thing you want is a team of nurses and you as their common enemy. I guarantee you will hate your life. Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is Dr. Cynthia here. I am so happy to have you guys back. Now, first things first, before we do anything else, you're already here, you're watching the video, why don't you just subscribe? Please click on the subscribe button down below. I would be happy to have you. Please subscribe to my channel and I promise you're not going to regret it. So let's get this show on the road. Now, if you're new here, I'm Cynthia. I am a core surgical trainee doctor in London with an interest in orthopedics. This channel is all about health, medicine, and lifestyle. So this video is aimed at my new incoming junior doctors. So if you don't know, in the UK, once you're done with medical school, the next step is that you are a foundation year doctor. You're an F1. In America, that's called an intern, but in the UK, we call them F1s. Every single year, the F1 starts on the first Wednesday in August. And I've been there before. It's so daunting. It's such a daunting experience. Like, you go from medical student and all of a sudden you're a doctor and you have to make decisions. And it is honestly one of the biggest learning curves you'll ever make. And it's one of the most life-changing things that will ever happen to you as a doctor. Now, in the NHS, this first Wednesday is known as Black Wednesday. And it's known as Black Wednesday because it's the day the new doctors start. And some people, I don't know how true this is, but some people say sometimes there's an increase in deaths. So that's why it's known as Black Wednesday. So what I'm here to do today is give you 10 things to know before you start F1. So my advice as an F1, I was an F1 almost 5 years ago. I was in the same position almost 5 years ago. And I wish somebody told me these things. I honestly wish someone told me these things. So here are my top 10 tips for new incoming F1s. Number 1, always ask questions. You have your senior house officer, your SHO, you have your reg, you have your consultants. If you don't understand anything, ask questions. Everyone knows that you're an F1. Literally everybody knows that you're an F1. So there is no such thing as a stupid question. If you don't understand anything, you don't understand why you're being asked to do anything, just ask. And the sooner you ask, the better, rather than you trying to guess how to do things by yourself. Number 2, just prioritize your jobs. Being an F1 is so nerve-wracking because you are the ward monkey. Unfortunately, you're the ward monkey. You have to do all the jobs. You have to make sure the patient's bloods get done, their scans get done. So the first thing to do every day, make sure the scans are done, because by the time you see the results, you don't want to be waiting until 7 p.m. for you to see your results. Make sure your blood tests are out or you do them yourself first thing after the ward round is done, and get your discharge summaries done. Because if you don't do the discharge summaries, the nurses will pester and pester until you do it. So get them done early. Number 3, ask for help. It's your first job as a doctor. Nobody expects you to know it all. Nobody expects you to know how to do every single thing. If you don't understand something, ask someone for help. There is always help around in F1. And that's the nice thing about being an F1, is that somebody will always be there to help you. So ask for help if you need it. Number 4, be nice to the nurses. Humble yourself. Okay, the nurses have been doing this a lot longer than you have been doing it. So be nice to the nurses. Humble yourself. If you have questions, ask the nurses. They will know what to do. And make friends with the nurses as well. For me, I made friends with the nurses. The nurses loved me. So if I needed anything done, they'd be like, oh yes, Dr. Cynthia, we'll do it for you. Like, get them on side, because the last thing you want is a team of nurses and you as their common enemy. I guarantee you will hate your life. So just make friends with the nurses. Number 5, always take a break. You are not a robot, okay? You cannot work from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and expect to not go to the toilet, to not eat, to not drink water. One day you will burn out. So even if it's just 20 minutes that you can get some days, make sure you take that lunch break, make sure you eat. Otherwise, you'll just become cranky, you'll lose focus, and your whole day will be ruined. So make sure you take any break that you can get. Number 6, If you are called to see an unwell patient, the best place to start is to just do an A2E assessment. That's the best place to start as an F1. Do an A2E assessment and make sure that the patient is completely okay before you say, oh yes, I think the patient is fine. And the A2E assessment is a good way of making sure that you hit the things that are most likely going to kill the patient. So do a proper A2E assessment, and then once you get more comfortable, you can start skipping various parts. But when you start, do a full A2E assessment. And for my non-medics, what an A2E assessment is that it's a top-to-toe assessment of a sick patient. Number 7, make friends with your fellow F1s. You're all in this together. 2 of my really good friends I made an F1. You're all in it together. Everybody knows what everyone else is going through. You have nights out together. You have socials together. In some hospitals, you will also live together as well. So make friends with your fellow F1s. Don't be an introvert. This is not the time to be an introvert. You need a support system, and your colleagues, your fellow F1s, will be that support system. Number 8, continue hobbies outside of work. For me in F1, my hobbies were the gym. I absolutely loved going to the gym. I loved having a good social life. I loved going out to restaurants to eat, and I was making money, so I had even more choices. And you need to carry on doing the things that you love. Otherwise, your life will just become work. And one day you will lose it. So you need to continue doing the things that you love. It's such a stressful job. And I remember my F1 year, the first 4 weeks were so stressful for me because my consultant was somebody who really knew what they wanted and was very demanding of his juniors. So there was a day that I cried in the toilet. There was another day I finished at 10 p.m. after starting at 7:30. And my safe place was hanging out with my friends, hanging out with my family, and just doing things that I actually loved doing. Number 9, start making career plans early. Now, this is where I failed. I did not do this. So I'm telling you guys to do this. Start making your career plans early. So if it's surgery that you want to do, start getting involved in audits. Start making posters to present at conferences. And just get involved. Speak to your regis, see what projects they're working on. Start looking at the pathway into your chosen specialty so that you can maximize your time. So let's say surgery, for example, you want to do surgery. In your surgical job in F1, it's only 4 months. So that's the time to get your audits. That's the time to ask your regis if there's any presentations or any conferences that you can go to. It's really good to get started early so that by the time you apply in 1 year's time, the application, if you're going to apply for specialty training in F2, comes round so quickly. It's in November. So by the time you apply, you want to make sure that you've at least ticked a few of the boxes that will give you points in the application system. Finally, we are in 2020. This is the age of technology. So make use of apps. Google things that you don't understand. There's certain apps that you need to have, and I will list them for you. So number 1, Induction. This is an app that has most hospitals on it, and it has the bleep numbers or extension numbers for whoever you would need to call in that hospital. So download Induction. It's such a useful app, and it's gotten me through so much. It's such a great app. I cannot speak highly of it enough. MD Calc is another one where you might need to do some calculations for patients, things like creatinine clearance that you would need to work out very quickly. MD Calc is such a good one as well, and it's very, very good to have. BMJ Best Practice is amazing. So if you don't know where to start, let's say diverticulitis as an example, which is an inflammation of the large intestine that can cause quite a lot of abdominal pain and diarrhea and bleeding, and you don't know where to even begin to manage your patient, BMJ Best Practice will update you. You would know, it will give you the very, very basics of what you need. And finally, if you don't have UpToDate, your hospital, most hospitals will pay for UpToDate for you. So just download the app. So when you need it, you know what you're looking for. So UpToDate is a website that says what it does. It gives you up-to-date information about medical conditions. And this is a bonus one. Honestly, enjoy it. I had the best time in my F1 year. I was in a terrible hospital, far away. I didn't really want to go there, but I had such a good time. It was one of the best years of my life. I made really good friends. I got very good at my job. It made me the doctor that I am today, and I would not trade that experience for the world. It was honestly the best year of my life up until I took a year out. But that was such an amazing year. It is hard work. When you're at work, you're going to work hard. But when you're outside of work, you also get to play hard, because for a lot of people, this is the first time that you're making money after 5 years of medical school or 6 years of medical school. So enjoy it, spend your money, and just make the most of it. So until next time, it is Dr. Cynthia here. I am signing out. I will see you all next time. And again, in case you didn't catch it, make sure you subscribe. Bye.